Hello coders, good afternoon. It is, of course, 14:30 GMT on a Sunday afternoon. We're going to be doing the code review for the March coding challenges today. And wow, do we have a lot of challenges to go through. We've got six. 6 people have entered the challenge, the March challenge, and I'll be reviewing the result of those, as well as the code as well throughout this. Just a massive thank you for everybody who's joined over the last few days. It's been fantastic, even though I haven't been streaming. It's been great that people have been joining. Let's do a quick roll call. Let's just grab that over here. Gosh, too many windows open. Okay, so massive thank you to, I'm going to butcher all of these names as usual. Massive thank you for Snack J29. Thank you very much. Dev by Salas. Thank you very much. Sumar said what? That's awesome. And Daily Learning. And also Mr. DB303. And no space for me. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for following and joining. It's been fantastic. And it's been great having conversations with you on Discord as well, which has been fantastic. So let's get into the code. Let's kick this off, shall we? Let's go over to this button here. That's the one I'm looking for. There we go. So we are in the March 2020 challenge. And hello, Tyrannid. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a look at this browser here. What we'll do is we'll review the challenge itself before I get into the nitty-gritty pieces of the code. Now, this, as we can see here, is the April challenge. I will be discussing this in great length after I've done the code review, but the April challenge is up, so if you want to get a head start, then do check that out. I put links to the code challenges site in the chat, or the March one at least. If we click over to the March one here, we can see that we are building a fighting game. Can I increase the size of this to make it a little bit more readable? There we go. Okay, so we are building a fighting game. Which is awesome. This is the first game that we've built in How to Code Well. And as I mentioned in the last time I discussed this is based off of a coding test that I did many years ago, and we've changed it quite a bit. We've adapted it quite a lot. And what I would like to do is have a table of players, different types of players with different healths and strengths, the ability to increase and decrease that health, as well as rolling a dice and having special powers. So we've adapted the test that I did ages ago quite a bit. So the first thing I wanted, well, let's just give a little bit of a brief. These challenges come with different levels, right? So you have the first level is usually the easiest level, and then they incrementally get harder and harder. So the first one is to build a table. So build a semantically correct HTML table with the following headers: name, type, strength, health, special power, and action. Please pay attention to this semantically correct HTML table, because I will be checking on that. Level 2. Populate the table with 100 characters at random with different health points and strength points. There must be 4 types of creatures. These are witches, dragons, snakes, and river trolls. Where was my head at when I was doing this? Okay, so the following health and strength rules apply. So here we have witches, dragons, snakes, and river trolls and their health and strength points. So I want a random number between these sort of these thresholds, essentially. So that's level 2. Level 3 then. Level 3, each row should have a different background color. Each type should have a different image, and add 3 buttons to the actions column. These should be delete, increase health, and decrease health. Each button should display an alert that shows the type of action that's pressed. Okay. Use an emoji for each of the buttons instead of text. Brilliant. Okay, moving on to level 4. Create a button above the table with the value roll the dice. This should display an alert with the message about to fight. Create a a button above the table with the value of reset. This should refresh the table. And of course, refreshing the table should of course generate the random characters with their random health and strengths and so forth. So you're essentially resetting the game. And then level master, because I was feeling a bit cruel. Don't use any frameworks. We will be using this setup for April's challenge, so make it look good. Okay. And I'll be talking about April's challenge soon. Once we get the review, that's the word I was looking for, the review out the way. And then, of course, we'll put in the video once this is done. Hello, Mr. DB303. Thank you very much for joining. So the challenges, we've got a fair amount of challenges here. We've got MCC, I'm going to try and pronounce these, MCC Lou JDD, Mr. DB303, King Melon Live, M Wayne, and Gnome Yoda's Tyrannid, and Ilamea. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced all those. So yes, we've got quite a few challenges to go through, which I'm super happy with. That's awesome. Brilliant. So that is the March challenge. So without further ado, let's go into the code. I have checked out all of these things, and I have built them all, and I've ran them. Okay. However, just out of sheer fairness to everybody watching the stream, I'm going to delete everything and rebuild everything again. All right, because I want to show you how I want to show you the build process. Okay, of these things, because they're very different. Some are in PHP, some are in JavaScript, some have NPM, some use Yarn, and some don't have anything. You know, which is great. So let's just do an ls here, and let's just come out of this for a minute. Let's do an rm minus rvf, say goodbye to all the work, go to 03 March, and we're going to delete everything within there. We probably need to run it on sudo. Bye-bye. Okay, so this is going to start from a nice clean slate. I think what I'll do is just not have V. It'll be faster. He says. And we'll load, there we go. And we'll, if we clear down that screen now, if we did an ls, we still have the 03 March, but it will be totally empty. Wonderful. Okay, so let's go to not Discord. We go to here. We scroll to the bottom here, and and 1 million files deleted. Yeah. Okay, let's start from the top. This is in no order whatsoever. This is just the order that was on the Discord, so this is in no particular order whatsoever. We'll start at the top here. I'm going to right-click this, go open. This is going to open this out. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit clone or download. I'm going to clone that. I'm going to grab that, and we're going to go back into here. Now, one thing I did last time when I did this is I was actually I discovered that there was 2 challenges with the same repository name. So what I'm going to do is just put in the username, which is this one here, as a new directory. So we're just going to copy that. I'm going to do an mkdir just to create that directory in. There we go. You can see that I've already done that before. Let's go into here and clone the directory. There we go. Do a git clone of that. There we go. Okay, let's do an ls. Go into this challenge here. ls again. What have we got? We got a README file. Let's cat that out. Okay. So this looks like it's yes, this is the README. This is the README that I've done. Okay, fair enough. Cool. All right, let's do an ls. Let's see what files we have. We have another folder called htcwmar. So let's go and have a little tinker with that one. Do an ls here. We've got an index, we got JavaScript, and we got style. Excellent. So we don't have any frameworks, so that's a massive thumbs up. You know, awesome. This, by the way, is MCC Lou JDD. MC. I'm just going to call you MCC. Okay, MCC. This is MCC. So we can do an open of index.html, and this unfortunately is opened in Safari. Let's see if I can copy that and put it into Chrome. Bear with me just a second. Let's here we go. There we go. Okay. Cool. I like it. I like the way that it's filled the page. That's really nice. You know, there's lots of space to play with. It's good. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got quite a few characters here. I'm going to say that that is 100. I'm not going to count each one, of course. I'm not like Paul Hollywood counting the layers of a cake on the Great British Bake Off. I'm going to say that that's 100. And we can also see here that we have snakes, and we've got dragons, and we've got witches, and river trolls as well. That was it, wasn't it? River troll 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. They're the different types. And we have the strengths. I'm going to keep an eye on the first 3, 45, 65, and 76. Let's do a refresh of the page. That should change. Yes, 73 is now there. And this is all randomized as well, which is great. That's fantastic. Okay, so we have 2 buttons here. Let's click on one of these. And that one. Okay, so these aren't actually performing any actions. Now that's perfectly fine, because that's the next level up. And there is no names here, which is perfectly fine. This is a great foundation for the project. So there are a few things missing with this. However, I think it's set up really, really well. Let's go and take a look at the code. So one thing I really like about this, of course, is that there's no framework. You know, it is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, I think. If we were to cat out, which means that I can just do this through the command line here. Let's do cat out of index. What have we got? Okay. So we've got let's take a look at the HTML. We've got this, that's fine, the doc type. This is good. We've got the head here, the style, the script, and the style that's in like so. Okay, that's good. Okay, I wanted a semantically correct table. So we've got a table here with the ID of table. We then jump straight into a TR, my TR.
Hello, coders.
Hello. Oh, that's another awesome username. V4N4M4K. Hello for following. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we could do with this table to improve it is that we could have a TH and a T body. Okay, they're not. You don't necessarily need to have them, but it's nice to do that. To format the HTML. Also, you've got an ID here, which is my TR. I'm not too sure what that's a bit of a weird ID for that. It doesn't really mean a lot. TR, my table row, I guess. Okay, so we have a TH. These are all THs. This is good, of course. This is good. And then down here, we've got straight into the script fill table. So that script would come through the JavaScript here. Okay. So I would put that in a T body, personally, and that in a T head. Cool. So that's calling fill body table. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's do an ls. That would be in JavaScript, I would imagine. So JS here. Let's do an ls. Only one file, principal.js. Let's cat that out. So let's do principal.js. Okay, that's an interesting setup there. It's good. I tell you what I'm going to do, because this is probably going to get a little bit awkward to go through on the command line. Let me just set up a PHP Storm project for this. Give me a second. And I'll do one for the other ones too. Let's just load that up. And it's weird with PHP Storm. You have to like load up a previous project. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, let's just drag that down here. Bear with me just a second. I should have done this off stream, of course. So we are looking for code, how to code well, challenges. Where are we? Challenges, code challenges, and 2020. This one. Excellent. Let's open that up. This window, please. Thank you. Good. Okay, so now we can actually look at the code properly. So let's open that up. So this is where we're at. So this is the index file. So yes, I would put a th sort of a t head, table head, and a table body here. And let's get into the JavaScript. So the JavaScript. Okay, so my ID is showing a lot of yellow on the right hand side. Okay, so one thing I can see is using vars. Do we need to use vars? These are all in the global scope. Trying to reference the health. Sorry, I'm just flicking through now. And then here's the document. So this is calling the fill table. So, okay, var I. Okay, be careful with this. Be careful with this. tr. Okay, so then this is now creating a table cell. And then rando creature. Rando creature. So that is an object, strength and health. Okay. Cool. Okay. I tell you what would be interesting is having rando creature have health plus and health modifier as methods of this object. One thing I would potentially look at is building sort of more of an object orientated type approach to this. I see up here we have JSON objects. So we've got the type, which is which. Excellent. Be careful with the variable names. I'm assuming that's health and min max. Okay, that finishes there. Okay. Just be careful with the readability here. It's not obvious where things start and finish, but it works. There's also an element of duplication, and you could get around this through the objects. So you could have a witch and a dragon and a snake and so forth that extend a character which has these set, defined, and then you sort of overwritten in the constructor. Cool. Okay, that's good. Yeah, they're essentially doing the same thing, aren't they? They're essentially doing the same thing. So there is a bit of code duplication going on here. So be careful with that. I like the way that this is commented out, so I can see that you're working through bits and pieces here. That's good. What I would also personally do, I mean, this is just personal preference, of course, is where you have the fill table, you split out the logic between generating the creatures and actually then painting them onto the page. At the moment, there's a lot of things happening sort of entwined. So the rando creature, if I was to open that up, this is creating creature objects randomly. Creature objects dot length -1. Okay, and then so this could be simplified a little bit. Oops. Rando. I just like that name, Rando. Okay, so it's creating an array of objects. Why is that null? What's with that? Why is that null? And then why is... So these are the objects that you're looping over to then create. I see. Okay, so once these are... Oh, I've got you now. Okay, I'm with you. This creates the template. This is like a template for a witch, a template for a dragon. Of course it is. Yes, I would still be very careful with. You know, there's no need to have health and strength in both snake and dragon. If dragon and snake extended a parent class or something, then they would have strength and health, and then all you would do is just change the parameters or the arguments inside. But it's fantastic. I mean, it's good. I like the simplicity of it, which is nice. Sometimes if you over abstract, of course, you do make things a little bit complicated, over the top. Let's just take a look, because you've played around with the style a little bit. Let's have a look at that. So we've got table, TH and TR. That's nice. I like to see all of these things that are all grouped together. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. That's what I was looking for. The nth of type 2n. Okay, good, good. So that's the alternate rows. Good. And that's what, 26, 25 lines of code, something like that? Yep. Spot on. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's just clear down the screen, make a little bit of room. Let's do an ls. Whoops, come out of this. And out of this. And out of this one. Oh, sorry, Tyranid. Let's go back to have a look at that. Tyranid's asking, if you call rando creature for each variables, I guess the creatures could be different. If you call rando creature for each variable, I guess. Yes, that's true. That's true. So, I mean, because these are sort of like templates, right? You would define their thresholds within the template. And so this is in the loop here. So we're doing fill table, rando creature. So we rando creature, create objects, returning n. N is create objects, which is here. So this is then returning the array of these in a random set, sort of order, I guess, right? So that would be n dot type. Where's the type live? Oh yeah, and so n would be, so that would return create. So, oh, I see. Yes, because that's the array. Gosh. Here we go. This would be a random index of this. I gotcha. So this would be like 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 100, 0 to 99, right? In these square brackets, and then this would be, and then that would, the value of whatever that is would be a random one of these, right? Yeah. I think I cracked it. Cool. Okay. Let's go to the next one, which was if we go over to here, MB Mr. DB 303. Let's check this one out. Okay, again, I'm gonna just copy the username there. I did have a problem last time with the copying over that slash. Let me just type it. MD Mr. DB 303. MKDir. It should be in my history, of course. Mr. There we go.
Hello, coders.
Hello, Davey EHW. Is that, no, that's not the right word. David. Sorry, Davey. David. I saw the E and I was like, David HW. Awesome. Thank you very much for following. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry for getting your name wrong. Okay. Good. Right, so let's go over to here. Let's click on the clone. Let's grab that. Let's do a git clone of yes, please, the coding tests. Thank you. Excellent. Let's do an ls of this. Yes, we've got it. Let's go into the file. Let's do an ls. What do I need to do? This is okay. Cool. I like the fact that you've got the brief in there. I like that. Nice. So it's PHP, right? So let's do a cat of readme. Let's see what This is the first part of the online coding challenge to disable the diagnostic mode. Set the define value of diagnostics on to false at the top of your index.php file. Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is in PHP, right? It doesn't have any composer-ness to it, which is good because it doesn't have any frameworks. I like that. So I'm assuming I can just do php-s and run the current folder in PHP's local server. Let's give it a go, shall we? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello. You've named it. Fangdoor's Formidable Fisticuffs. Oh, extra points for creativity there. Awesome. So this is nice because it's nice in the middle. It's sat nice in the middle, and we've got the alternative rows here, which is good. And I love these drawings. Check that out. Did you draw this yourself? That's brilliant. Excellent. So I'm not going to count them all. I'm going to assume that's 100. Excellent. Let me keep an eye on Marvin. Staff of Smarting. Oh, you drew these yourself. Oh, extra points for that. Extra points for Mr. DB303. That's amazing. That's so cool. Okay, so let's keep a close eye on Marvin here. He's got a strength of 44 and a health of 67. He has the Staff of Smarting. That's brilliant. I'm going to refresh the page. This should randomly change. Has it changed? Marvin is... That was 45. Let's do it again. That's 44. Still 44. Okay, so it's not randomly changing. However, there is a reset button. Let's click on that. So the reset. Okay, I gotcha. So the reset is resetting. That is what I wanted. So that's good. I really dig these drawings. That's brilliant. Okay, so and look, there is reset selected. Okay, so let's click on one of these. Let's click on this. Delete. Wow, action delete character ID 1. So let's delete this one here. Okay. Character ID 5. I like it. Okay, so you're capturing the IDs of here. You've obviously given an ID for these. I just want to double check. Which ID is this? Is it 1? Okay, cool. So you're starting from an ID of 1 rather than 0, which is good. Good. Okay, so let's have another look. That's increasing the health. And that's decreasing of the health. That's doing exactly what I wanted. Roll the dice. About to fight. No character action button previously. Select Del, Inc, and DEC, which I guess is descending, incrementing, and delete. Marvelous. Oh, yes. Mr. DB303 has mentioned that there is a GET request and using 0. There is an issue. Oh, okay. Ooh, now you've said there's an issue. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and find the issue. This is brilliant. I really do dig this. I really do dig extra points for the image. Let's go and take a look at the code, shall we? Let's do that. So let's come out of this one and open this one up. Let's close all these things down. Close all. Coding test. Let's go into the index.php. Okay. I like that. Okay, so we've got some definitions going on here. Number of badges. Oh, sorry, number of baddies. Number of badges. What am I talking about? Number of baddies. Exceeding 100 may introduce duplicate names. Diagnostics are on. So this diagnostics is this, right? Let's just turn it off. Let's just see what happens. You've given me bells and whistles to play with now. Yeah, that's gone. That's gone. Nice. I like that you've gone above and beyond there. Cool. So it's your own little debugging thing. Okay, so we're starting a session and we're requiring header. Okay, so you can get away with that because you're not in a loop, of course. If you were, you would do require once, obviously. So now we've got our own little autoloader. Oh, look at this. How fancy. This is fancy pants stuff. So you've got your own little autoloader that you've registered. And then down here, you're instantiating a new object, which is view, and instantiating baddies data, passing in the number of baddies. So let's just say that was 1, right? Let's just save that, refresh, and see. Is that going to be 1? No. I'm I'm trying to break things. Okay, let's move on. So we've got text is only output if diagnostic mode is set to true. Okay, so this is the diagnostic stuff. If empty action and if that isn't if that's not empty, sorry, action, and if that's not empty, num. We get those. Num in baddies, validate action, diagnostic. I like this. This is very readable. This is very, very readable. So you validate the action. You get the action after it's been validated. You validate the char ID, which I'm assuming is character ID, number. And then, okay, scroll down the road. So if empty, reset. Good. First of all, let's go through this object. So the object started here, didn't it? New baddies data. Okay, so we're passing in a numeric value here. Number of baddies. Okay, cool. So underscores are private. Fine. For detecting dodgy input via get. Not a valid action. Excellent. Some shenanigans are afoot, not a valid number. Right. I see. So where does this get... number found. Action found. Okay. I'm not sure what that's doing at the moment. I haven't seen where that gets played. This, and we're only in the constructor, of course. Okay, so now we're instantiating the characters. Let's take a look at Snake. Oh, that's cool. So we have an array here of powers and names. Ah, that's brilliant. I see what you mean by there could be a potential issue with changing the numbers of the baddies. Excellent stuff. Okay. Okay, so these are protected. Let's just have a look at this the class structure here. So we've got dragons and snakes. So baddie type. Gotcha. So they extend baddie type. Something's a bit off there with the... that's a dynamically declared property. Okay, so we shuffle the names, which will happen on every instantiation, right? So you instantiate, so that's fine. So it's not going to be the same names each time. That's good. I like that. Baddie count. Brilliant. Create and get statistics. That's brilliant. Careful with your indentation. I know that's only a small thing, but there's a few of these dynamically declared actions here. I'm not too sure if they need to be present. Okay, so empty rand. So we're getting a random number of the health, min health and max health. Gotcha. So this is coming off of the thresholds. Sweet. And the thresholds would be set, I guess, up here, right? Yes, they would be. Brilliant. Wonderful. Good. Good. I like it. Okay, so these are going to be the same sort of setup, right? Just different values. That's fine. That's cool. All right. So baddie data. So create the statistics for count. Count is less than this number of baddies. Count, and then increment. Okay. Self-generate empty rand. That's good that you've done it in there rather than declare it above. That's good. So the declaring the value inside the loop is a good thing. Okay, so here we're generating char. Is that character or char? Array push. This stats this inv char. Be careful with your variable names. Just because I'm struggling to work out whether it's what it is. Okay, so generate char. Character. Generate character. Character names will be randomized and unique. Currently choose from a pool of 100 for each character. Okay, get stats. Create and get stats. This snake. Okay, so this is going through and creating stats. So this could be done in a factory class. So you could use some polymorphism there. Char type. Because there is obviously some duplication going on here. The only difference with these cases, of course, is that this is a dragon and this is a snake. If you were to pass that in as a type, then you could put that in there as a value, and then it would be, this function would be way smaller. I am properly nitpicking. Okay, validate action here. Actions allowed. Okay, so we've got a key for the an internal code. That's good. Not a valid. A fruitless attempt at cheating has been detected. I love this. I like it. Okay, valid character ID. Great on you for putting in the comments, by the way. Temporary, as no doubt criteria will change later in the project if a game characters are removed. Clever. Use in array instead when characters are deleted. Nice. Thinking ahead and outside the box. Okay, so the number found. These are messages, right? These are messages that get set. Does this mean, though, that this can either be a string or a number or an integer? This number found. So we return so that's true. I don't know. This number found, unless this is just for the diagnostics. Okay. Because that's obviously going to be is numeric, right? And then you're casting that to an int. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is just a message, right? Number found. Stats. Return text. Okay, so that's getting statistics. Generate random paste hex color. Nice. Okay. You could just return that straight, right? But yeah, brilliant. Good. What's class test? I'm always interested with things that say test. Scripting executing. This script is not needed to run the project. It's just a quick test of the baddie type classes. Okay, right. Okay, I gotcha. So you're printing. Gotcha. You're doing a print R of the statistics and the stats. If I open one of these up, for instance, will be the name, the type, the image, the strength, and the health. And I'm assuming these are then converted to the front end, right? So if we go to the index.php, hang on a minute, I'm confusing myself. If we go back to index here, baddies validate, get action, reset. Is there a one about, there we go, get the statistics. Generate, reset, and roll. So this is running a JavaScript roll. Okay, good. And then here we're creating the table. Let's have a look and see. You don't need the. You don't need that. Okay. Okay. So we've got a class in here. Okay. So I would definitely recommend not embedding HTML in a PHP class. I've seen a lot of this before, and it just turns into a world of pain. Just be careful. I would rather you created a function that rendered the table rather than had it embedded in a method. Because essentially what you're doing is you're processing PHP, and then you're coming out of PHP, and then you're going into HTML and going back into PHP. And if you do things in the wrong order, then they get really sort of messy. So we're now looping over the counts. That is a ternary here. So if the color is equal to color A, is this because this isn't the data type isn't the same? That's why it's two equal symbols. What's that? That's the style. Okay. And then generate buttons. Hello BDDJ10. Thank you very much for following. Hello. Cool. Okay. This is looking good though. I mean, I recommend trying to avoid doing PHP short tags and stuff. Generate button. That's generating buttons. Fine. Cool. Generating the dice roll. Okay. Cool. And then output diagnostic data. Cool. In your includes, you've got your headers and you've got your footers, right? So that's good. Let's take a look at the footer here. Okay. Let's go into index again. Let's take a look at the table. So if we start up, where are we? Where did we go? Where did the table go? Hang on a minute. I'm in the wrong. Include head, auto load, view, new view. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so we have a T table. We don't have a T head, and it doesn't look like we have a T body either as well. Cool. Sorry, I am trying to keep an eye on the chat. So the game. Let's just. I'll grab a cup of tea. Bear with me a minute. The tea's here. I'm just drinking it. Thank you, Tyrannid. So every month we do a coding challenge, and this month we're building a game using JavaScript and other bits and pieces, and PHP if needed. Thank you, Slayer Darth, for joining. I'm doing all right. You know, I'm doing all right. I'm good. I'm getting on. You know, getting on with things. Who knows what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, but I'm getting on with things. Yeah, I'm in my happy place. I'm trying to break code. I'm in my happy place. Let's just go back and refresh our minds to how good this looks. Okay, so we've got, these are drawn, hand-drawn. It's brilliant, isn't it? I love it. Are these hand-drawn too? Slayer Darth is saying he's got much more time on furlough, so hopefully now I can contribute to the next coding challenge. Awesome. It would be great to have you on board. That'd be awesome. So the next coding challenge, of course, I sounded like a farmer then. The next coding challenge will be based off of this one. So if you haven't done this one, you kind of need to do this one in order to do the next one. But they're all recorded, right? So you can see what we previously did. No, I think Mr. DB mentioned that these were hand drawn. I believe. I just love it. Fangor's formidable fisticuffs. Brilliant stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We do have a lot more challenges to go through this time than last. So I do apologize if you think that I'm diving through. Yes, hand drawn as pungs. That's brilliant. Okay, so the next one is this one, M. Wayne.
Hello, coders.
Oh wow, that's another username that I can't pronounce. What are you guys doing? Hello, I'm going to try it. Lucy Lurziva Dev. Hello, Dev. Dev. Thank you for following. I do appreciate it. No worries, Mr. ZB. And look, you know, I can give more feedback if you want to dig into some of these points that I make on the Discord server. I'm more than happy to do that. Luis Ribias. Hello. I just can't do it. People's names and usernames just escape me, and I hope I don't come across it insulting at all. M Wayne 16. I know that one. Ooh, we have an npm install node start going on here. Okay. So let's grab that username. If I can just do it without getting that slash, that would be fantastic. I think it must be on my because I did pull all these earlier just to make sure that they were running. Do I have M Wayne? There we go, 16. Okay, being lazy and relying on my bash history here. So M Wayne 16. Okay, so let's do a poll. Not a poll, a clone. Okay. Just a melon. Or King Melon, or Firefox Melon. Whatever he changes the the avatar to. Okay, so HTC Coding Challenge 2020. Let's do an LS here. Let's take a look at the README file. So readme.md. So this is requiring npm install. So let's go ahead and do that. How's everyone else doing? You know, you've asked me how I'm doing, but I'm being a bit rude here. How's everyone else doing? You know, this is crazy times and everything. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's smiling and having fun, or as much fun as they can at these crazy times. Okay, so let's do it's npm install. I hope everybody's well. Yeah, right. Yeah, I have that song, the Queen song in my head repeatedly. Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of errors here, but I believe this is to do with my system. It's complaining about a version of Python is not compatible with, is it Node GYP? I don't think this actually matters. It has been installed, so I should be able to now run npm run serve, right? Nope. Okay, maybe he says it doesn't. It works fine, and then it can't get it to work. Let's scroll up to the top. It's npm start, of course. I wish there was a common command for these things. npm start. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just take over my Chrome, why don't you? Oh, nice. HTC March Coding Challenge. Huh, look at that. Someone's got a bit fancy pants. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, I'm going to assume there's 100 here. I'm not going to count each one. Something's going on a little bit funky here with the what looks like the table row going on here or something like that. There's like an extra one here. That's a bit weird. It seems to be on every one. So whatever melon is always fancy. He's a fancy melon. Okay, so we've got the names. I like the font. And we've got the types, witches, river trolls, snakes, and dragons. That's what I was looking for, dragons. So let's go to the top here. Let's take a look at one of these. So I want to look at this one. 75 out of 80. I like that because you've got the out of 80 part. And then 58 out of 60. I like that. So, okay, remember these figures. Let's refresh the page. Okay, so that's changed. Good. And then remember those figures and then hit refresh. Yep, that's changed. Good, good, good. One thing I would suggest, though, is to have this as a sort of a defined width. So don't get this to change. You know, you can see the width is changing as this is happening. I like that. Check that out. Cool. I like these little, the little touches. I like them. You know, I do. So then these would be the buttons for. Okay. Okay, I see what you've done, Mr. Melon. All right. So I did mention to bring up an alert and not do this, but you've gone ahead and done it. Fair enough. And then removing of the row. Yeah. Oh, good. So you might it looks like you've done a lot of the April's challenge as well. Fair enough. All right, let's run the dice. You rolled a 1, you rolled a 4, you rolled a 6. Okay, cool. Let's go and pull apart the code, shall we? So let's go over to it is not that one, it is this one. Okay, so that's the README. Let's just take a look at the packages that are required here. So this is the scripts. Okay, so that's how the Chromes was working fine. Gotcha. So it's running off of React, and it's using this for Ajaxy stuff, I guess. There is a jest in here. This suggests that there is testing. Is there a testing? There doesn't seem to be a testing folder in here. That I was getting excited. Okay, assets is all the assets, so these are JPEGs, and there's a Pong there as well. Components. So let's pull apart the React, shall we? So we've got custom hooks as well. Oh, nice. And the layouts as well. We've got game board CSS. Okay, let's go into app. All right. So my browser is not, or my IDE needs to change to be JSX. Can I? There we go. Good. Okay, so we have the app, and then that loads the game board component. So let's open up the game board component. What are we importing here? Okay. Rolling the dice, and we got the min and the max. So the min would be what? Well, it's just 6, right? So it would be 1 and 6. Roll the dice. Anywho. So then that's the alert. Nice. Google font to get the font. Use monster generation. on click, roll the dice, bind this 1 to 6. There we go, 1 to 6. That's what I was looking for, 1 to 6. Okay, I like the way you've done that because with the 8 pool challenge, there's going to be a slight tweak to the dice roll. So that might go in your favor there. Okay, so then that's the reset. So this is setting up the board, right? And then here we pass in the properties, which are the monsters. Let's just turn that off. Sorry about that. Let's. So we have these properties, these props here, which would be defined. They're being passed through, aren't they? Use generation. Let's go into there. Okay, so this is the meat of setting up the monsters. So much like I forget which one it was, but this is like a template, right? A template of the monster. So you've done it once, which is great, and then you pass in the creature, and then it gets the type. It generates the health and the strength based on the creature which you've passed in. Excellent. Min health, min storage. So this is a really good way of doing that. So you're only defining the generation of the monster once, right? And you're passing in the monster or the creature, and then you're changing the health and the strength based upon the creature's thresholds that you've supplied, which is great. So you only have to do that once. Good. Okay, so that will generate the monster, which means that you've got that level of abstraction. Okay, so down here we've got the use effect. I'm not sure what that's doing, but it's doing an async function map monster. Generate the key values. Cached monsters push, so that's pushing into an array. Generating the monster source map. What's this about? Firstness, so that's generating set monsters. Monster const is use state. What's the no. Use state is just an array. Source. Hang on, I'm getting lost here. What's going on here? So you're passing in await. So of course it is. It's an await, isn't it? So you're doing getting the cache. Set the monsters, store the creature, return monsters, monster generation. Okay, I'm not following that for some reason. So we're awaiting a map of monster. Okay, so we're getting a monster. I'm just not too sure where the monsters are coming from yet. It's not in assets. It's monster config. There we go. Okay, so we've got these the configurations. That's great. I like that. But yeah, that does exactly what it needs to do, and it says exactly what they are as well, which is good. So you got the configuration. How does that go into monster generation though? Unless we're passing that in as source. Game board. Let me go through it again. Game board, and then use monster generate creatures. There we go. Creatures is monster config. There we go. So we've got the monster config, which is what we've just seen, which is where are we here? So this is all the configuration, and we've got that as a constant, an object here, which is great. And then when we go to app, when we go into the game board, what we're doing is we're getting the config, and then we're passing that down the chain into here, into creatures, and we're pulling out the properties, the props, the reset and the set reset methods from here. So down there we go. So that's what we're returning, and the monsters themselves. I see now. I get it. Hey, King of Men Alive. Thank you for following. I am actually going through your code right now as we speak. Everybody loves the animations, by the way. I do too. Check these out. Look at that. Woohoo! And this is good. I like that. It's very nice. Very, very nice indeed. I don't know what this is about though. There seems to be a little like gap going on here between the two. I haven't actually checked that out yet, but in terms of the code, but I do like it. I'm impressed. So let's go back to the code. Okay, so that's setting up the monsters. Let's go back to the game board, which is it was app and then game board. Okay, so then we've got the on clicks for rolling the dice and then resetting. Then down here we got your T head. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that. T head. T head. Well done. What's that? Oh, you didn't have it when... Maybe it's a Mac thing. Blame it on the Macs, eh? Blame it on the Macs. Are you running in Windows or something? I can try it in a different browser if you want. I'm running it in Chrome. So let's see if I can run it in Safari. Blame the user. So this is in Safari. Okay, Safari, which is, by the way, an Apple Mac thing, right? Doesn't have this issue. So it's a Chrome issue. Brilliant. Okay. So so you got the T head there. I like that. Good. So we got the TRs and the T head, and then we're generating the monsters. Let's go into the monsters component. So here we've got a T body. That's what I was looking for. Good. So we're looping over the monsters here. Setting the key, of course. Getting the H1. Doing the on mouse enter. This is looking very nice. Getting the states, so we're just painting it to the page. That's very, very nice. On the on click here, we're doing increase health. Okay, decrease health, excellent. So this is actually April's challenge. Never mind. Yeah, I think that looks really, really good. What else haven't I looked at? Let's see, gameboard.css. So that's good. We're running on the T heads and the T bodies, which is nice. So we're keeping those. This is how you're using RGBA as getting odds and evens. So that's cool. I think it was done slightly differently before with N2. So you could simplify this a wee bit. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously quite a bit going on here. Whoa! What have I spotted? 2 heights. Cool. Okay. Cool. And then the assets are the assets. In the public is you've even got a manifest. Hey, nice. Okay. This is really good. So gameboard.js is what we were looking for. Through main config is the config. Monsters.js is the generation of the monster, painting it to the particular table row. You could get away with, of course, calling this table row generation or something like that, or table body generation, and then supplying monsters as a thing. But no, don't worry about that. Forget about what I just said there. That doesn't make any sense. This is looking good. Mood? You've given them a mood? What? Okay. Cool. Use data fetching. Let's take a look at this. So this is using the Axios. Getting the data source and then populating the results, setting the results based on the response. Setting loading as false. That's cool. So when it loads, does this mean though then that how does that get fired off? User data fetching. Use monster generation. Use increase. Delete creature. Okay, so these are the hooks, aren't they? These are your hooks that you're supplying. Okay, cool. I don't know where this is getting ran though. I'm not sure where that goes. If we go back to the gameboard.js and we go to, let's do, like say, an roll the dice. Does this, or set reset, no, reset from here, use effect. Not sure. Use data fetching. Here we go. So this is data fetching. Oh, it's getting the first names. Oh, ooh, this is nice. So this is, you're generating first names on the fly, essentially, from wherever this is. Let's have a look at where this is. What is this? Huh. Nice. Oh, that's clever. So this is generating. This is a list of random names. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so does this mean that? Yeah, these are going to be totally and utterly random for every game. That's so clever. Cool. This is very like Warhammer looking, isn't it? Orcs and chaos. I used to be into Warhammer when I was at school. I don't know what that's from. It's a bit Lord of the Ringsy. Yeah, it looks good. Use monster generation. Okay, so going through the code here. Get the comments. Cool. Yeah, I like it. It's good. Was going for a steampunk theme, but then found difficult to replicate it. Steampunk theme. Nice. All right. Let's continue down the journey. Let's go down to Gnome Yodas or Jodas. Yodas, is that the right way? Yeah. Gnome. So, again, I'm going to grab this and then go into come out of that, come out of this. My poor PHP Storm is going to get hammered with all of indexing all of these files, isn't it? Okay, mkdir of here, and then go into this one and yep, grab git clone. Where's the music gone? Where did that go? There we go. Okay, so let's do an ls here. Go into the March challenge. Do an ls. So what have we got? We got a zip file. We've got delete pongs. This is index.html. That's what I was looking for. It's an index. It's running index, and we got javascript.js. Cool. So this I should be able to do open index. Yeah. Okay. This is sillily opened up in Safari again. Let's copy that and go into. No, not there. Here. Okay, so name, type, strength, health, special power, and action start. You see that? Okay, so let's hit start. Ooh, look at that. Okay, again, I'm going to assume that this is 100. It looks like 100. If I was to refresh, yeah. If it would be possible to not have that and just run the game, that would be great. Who is this? Let's have a... Who was this? This was... Gnome Yodas. I kind of understand why you've done it. Right? So... it kind of, you kick off the process by starting it, and then what happens on the reset? You're about to reset the battlefield. Okay, cool. It just seems like there's an additional step. Oh, the creature's mood is based on the creature's health. I gotcha. Cool. All right, let's click around with some buttons. So this is asking to roll the dice. Your X and Y are about to fight. Continue. Okay, cool. All right, let's just refresh the page or hit reset and make sure that these are randomly being generated here, which they look like they are. Cool. Let's click on these. So we are actually physically deleting the rows here, aren't we? Okay. And then down. And then up. Cool. Okay. So that does what I asked of. That was good. That was good. A couple of pointers on the visuals. I mean, I'm not a graphics designer or UX designer at all, but I would try and space these out a wee bit. It's nice and clean, though. It's nice and clean. Try and space these out, and you know, you've got lots of room to play with. So go nuts, you know. Good idea having that as TBD. I'll be talking about those in just a second as I go through this. So let's go and take a look at the code. Of course, let's go to PHP Storm again, and it is in here, no mutas. It's brilliant that it's just an index file. Okay, so we don't have a title here, so I would fill that out. We've got styles within the HTML. I'm not a massive fan of that personally, because look how big that is. That's 86 lines. So I would recommend putting this in another file, a CSS file, an external style sheet file. Also, I'm picking up that there's some unused things going on here. Okay, let's get to the get to the good stuff. So we've got the body here, the button on-click rolling and reset table. That's quite self-explanatory. We've got a TH here, nice table header. So that's your table headers, THs. That's good. And we got a table body, nice. Okay, I would change the IDs of these to be a little bit more specific. You know, ID T body ID of table. I mean, yeah. Okay, so the button allows us to load the JavaScript after the table is created. Okay, so that's the start button. So you click on start. Okay, let's go back to the index a minute. Let's go straight to the top here. We've got the meta. Okay, so this is the src for the script, javascript.js. Okay, the first thing I notice here is that there's a lot of comments, which is good. Okay, so we got names lists going on here. Create 100 creatures and insert them into the table. Well, technically that's the T body, isn't it? Randomize creature type, randomize stats, str, which is strength and health, insert data into the table. So I do this whenever I'm coming up to a challenge such as this. I like to produce little steps, so I like that. It shows that you're thinking about it, you know, in a very logical manner. Okay, so function choose name. I tell you what, let's go to the start. Let's work it through as it would. There is a start, I'm sure. Where is that? Start here. Okay, I have decided to start everything with a function. Okay, At first, we empty the table in order for the reset button to work. That makes sense, right? So we're resetting that. But be careful, you keep saying it's a table, but that's the ID is not the table, is it? That is the ID here is the table t body. Okay, so names, we're slicing and dicing the names list to get the, if we just assign it, it will get spliced for both for the same reason. Okay. Careful of your indentation. We're in a function. Randomize the creature type 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will give us a random number. Randomize the row color by changing the color formula and the cell color attributes. You can basically choose the colors you want. Okay, so this is done in JavaScript, which is perfectly fine. It could be done in CSS. In fact, there was one, wasn't there? I'm going to pick on. Here we go. So this is n type 2n yellow green tr. So that is and what you do on tr is you define the other color, and then it's so that would be a, so 2n is n. Let me get the right definition of this. 2 seconds. It was that of type? Yeah, of type. And nth of type, so it's nth child of type. Nth of type. I just want to get the actual dictionary definition of this. For every second element, yes. So if you take a look at this here, you'll see it's specify a background for every p tag element, that is the second p element of its parent. So it's it allows you to so if that was like 3n, that would be the third one, or 4n, that would be the fourth one. It's there's a lot of these things that we can do in CSS, which is very, very powerful. Anyway, that's I'm digressing here. I'm not even. That was the first one. So big respect for doing that. That's good points for doing that. So which one are we on? This one. Let's come away from that. Let's close all these up and go down to the JavaScript. So this here could be done on that, but this is we're randomizing the color, right? But there's only odd and even. Anyway, yeah. So there's a lot of powerful things you can do in CSS, King Melon. It's I know that you're good on the visuals, right? So do check out. I do recommend checking out what you can do with selecting different things and changing the colors and transforming stuff. It's very, very powerful. Yes, you can target different numbers too, definitely. Okay, so careful with the variables here, because these are implicitly declared. They're not you don't have like a default for these. So cell color isn't defined until we go into the if statement. But what happens if that isn't? Well, it's going to be this one, isn't it? But anyway. Good. Okay, so now we get the type. We go through a switch statement. Okay. So enemy type, enemy name, str. So we're saying that there's a lot of duplication here. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I would suggest if I was to improve this, I would recommend having this in some sort of object above that you can control, because these properties are duplicated across. So if this was an object that was being built through this switch statement, then you would pass in the object, and then you would just go like object dot type is equal to a which or whatever. But I see what's going on here. It's you know, it is readable, but there is a bit of duplication. It means that if there was a bug in one thing, then there's going to be a bug in the others, right? So you're not you're not boiling down the code to a single function, a single functional piece of or unit of work, essentially. Okay, so now and then here we it looks like we're building the actual row, which I'm assuming is going to be very similar. Yeah, yes, button. So a lot of this could be boiled down to a particular. I can't use my words today. Method, is that the right word? Function. It can be boiled down to a function. Nth term. Thank you, Sniper Side. The nth term. Yeah. Cool. So let's get past this switch statement. And then here we have hide the button starter. What's this? I'm not sure. Okay, so get button by ID. Good. We're using IDs here. This is good. Rolling and reset. So you're changing the visibility of this. Am I right in thinking that visibility, visible, style.visibility, is that? It is a string. I thought, okay, fair enough. For some reason, I thought that was an integer. I thought it was, a Boolean. Fair enough. Oh, it's a style. Of course it is. Sorry. Yeah, of course it's going to be a string. Sure. Which is visible. Yes. Okay. Okay. Button. Button is in Spanish, thus yet not reserved word in JavaScript. But I can't let this be undone. Sorry. Okay. Nice. So we're getting the parent node of the row, right? So I'm assuming this is the tr. Okay. And then we're asking whether we want to delete the creature, and then we remove the tr, which then removes the child nodes, which would be the child and the child. Okay. And then that's doing the same, but for increasing the health, although we're just doing a confirm here. That's good. I like the confirm. That was a good way of doing that. And then rolling and reset. You know, apart from the duplication of code, this is actually extremely readable, you know. Yeah. Apart from the odd tweaks here and there, the duplicated code, this does actually does make logical sense. If I scroll up to the top here, I'm just trying to find the configuration. Here, isn't it? So we've got the strength and the health points. So they're generated. Okay, so I've just seen something. I've just seen a gotcha here. Let me go back to the here. How are we loading this? On start, we click start. Okay, so that's going to go into JavaScript. That's going to load up the start mechanism, which is there. Okay, that's then going to loop over 100 items, and then for 100 items, we're then going to do a random type for each 100. And then we're also going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's potential there to doing a lot of random work. Yeah, I'm concerned with performance, that's all. If this was more than 100, if this was 1,000 or 5,000. Well, it's only going to do one of those, isn't it, for every row? So for every row, we are doing one for every one of these. We're doing a random selection, and then we're doing 2 of these, so 3 random features, and then there's no randomization there. Yeah, I'm just thinking, is there a way of doing this outside of this loop? So it's a little less, I don't know. Meh. I'm picking. Hey, Avatar. Thank you for joining. It's going well. It's doing all right. How are you? You all right? Okay. Oh, my throat. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. And the next one is the very own Tyrannid. So let's grab that and open this up. Ooh, there we go. Let's go to here. Let's clear this down. Do. Probably have it on my history. There we go. So let's go to here. Let's clone the repo. I can see already that we're using node npm. Okay, so let's do a git clone of this one. Right, so let's do an ls. Do. March challenge. CD into March challenge. Let's cat out the README file. Okay, so yes, again, it's npm install, right? So let's do that. Okay, so it looks like it's using Vue, right? Is that it? Okay, cool. Good. So that's gone through. If we did an ls here, we can see that we should have the node modules. Excellent. So what's the next thing? Let's do a cat of README again. It's npm serve. Oh, hello. What's this about? Failed to compile with one error. In CSS styles.sas. Module failed from node module sass loader dist cjs.js. File to import not found or unreadable. Bootstrap sass bootstrap on line 3. Style.css on import. Let me have a little look. Let's dig this through. Let's have a little look. So let's close all this down. Otherwise I'll get confused. I think. So it's looking for node modules bootstrap, sass bootstrap. Font. That's fort awesome. I think that needs to be font awesome, does it not? src stars.sass on line 3. Oh, this one here, so it's complaining about this one. So we're looking for node modules. We're looking for bootstrap. Where is the bootstrap? A B B A A A A A B B B. Looking for bootstrap. Where are you, bootstrap? Why do I think that it's just staring me right in the face? Where are you? It's not in here. There's body parser, bonjour, bullbase. So yeah, it can't find bootstrap. Is bootstrap in our configuration. Can't see it. Maybe I have to... Well, I've just ran npm install. I've just ran npm install. Can you remember, Tyrannid, what that should be? And then I will add it. If you remember what that dependency should be. Right, okay, cool. It's not like a... Okay, let's just see if we can get Bootstrap in. Okay, let's close that down. npm, you're saying install, and then obviously save. Bootstrap. I can't spell it. I can't even spell install. Jeez. Cool. No worries. That's a problem with Python again. That's gone through. Let's do an ls. Sorry, not an ld, an ls. Okay, good. Go back to here. Do we now have Bootstrap? That's gone through there. Excellent. So let's try and do an npm. Was it serve or start? I forget. It was serve, isn't it? Serve. Is it serve? Yeah, npm run serve, of course. Oh, and you're also requesting font awesome. Okay, yeah, because that would be the next one, right? Okay, let me put that in. Sorry. npm install save, and it was this one here. Cool, let's build this. Yeah! Woohoo! Excellent. Okay, let's grab that, go into here and not there. God, too many tabs open. There we go. Ooh, hello. That's looking nice and clean, isn't it? I like the way the first one is called a lawyer. The early lawyer is a river troll, as many lawyers are. Anyway, let's. This is good. I do like this. Oh, he's got. He's added hover over. This is nice. Yep. Cool. I'm not going to count them. I'm assuming they're 100. Let's refresh. Yep, that's very random. That's cool. Let's hit restart. Yep, that restarts well. Toggle dark. That's awesome. That wasn't in the spec, but that's amazing. I like that. I like dark mode. Dark mode, all the things. I prefer dark. I think white it's nice, but I've got dark mode on most of my stuff. Even the Twitch dashboard is dark, so that looks really nice. Very, very nice. Roll the dice should come up with an alert, which it does. About to fight, that's good. These things should come up with alerts too. That's very good. And when we delete the row, delete anchor prompt, excellent. And we are actually physically deleting the row, it looks. Now, I don't have enough time, but I would imagine, I'm just wondering what would happen if you were to delete every single row. I don't think I'll do it because there's 100 to go, but I'm just interested. You certainly did. You regained points because of the dark mode. You redeemed yourself. Very clever. Very good. Okay, let's go and pull the code apart, shall we? Okay, so here we go. In here, it is this one, isn't it? Yeah, src. Let's first of all go through the main.js. Okay, so we've got the view. It is using view, import view, and then we have the app.view style.sass. Awesome. Config production tip. Okay, and then we're getting the app. So let's go into the app.view, the main crux of all of this. We have the fighting game. Import fighting game from view game. Putting in the components. Okay. So let's have a look at this template here. So we're binding the dark mode if is dark mode. See, this is what I really like about Vue. I really do like these binding of properties and changing things when certain things are set. I do like it. It just is clean. Roll dice and then ask for reset. And then this is the is dark. So if this isn't dark, then we toggle it off, and if it is dark, then we toggle it on. Very nice. Okay, so then we're mounting the monsters. Mounting the monsters does sound really weird. We're mounting. No, we're not. We're binding the monsters. We're binding the monsters to and also supplying the dark mode as well to the monsters component, which is here. Wonderful. Okay, so this is the data that gets defined. We have some configuration here. Emojis in code is great. I like it. So we've got the count, we've got types. This is an array of objects with the min and max. I do like this. Then we have, I'm assuming this is an array of monsters once the monsters have been processed. By default, dark mode is off. So if that was true, dark mode would be on by default. Okay, so once so we define the components, which is monsters here, which is what this thing's all about, of course. And then when it is mounted, we reset the table. That's a very nice way of doing that. Okay, so the methods are obviously reset table. So we're looping through here of the monster config.count. Now this is off of the data, which is this here. Okay, so then we're iterating over each one. We're getting the monster type. Be careful of the using vars here. And then here we've got type. Okay, so we're generating the array. Getting the random this monster types dot length. Brilliant stuff, good stuff. And then we're pushing this monsters, which is this bit here. We're pushing whatever we've just generated monster type into there. Good. Generate monster is this, passing in the monster type. This is very readable. I like this. So this is going to get either the type, which is based on these things, right? So it's a random one. So this monster type will have the configuration for each Yeah, generate monster. So that's the type. That's the ID. I'm not sure what the ID is. I is I is the okay. I would be the number of, so between 1 and the monster count, right? So that's cool. Just looking at, sorry, catching up on the chat here. Yeah, nested CSS in Sass, definitely. Yeah, you could get away with a const or a let. You're only using it in this scope, aren't you? Okay, so generate value. Generate value. Where's this coming from? Oh, generate the value of the health points. I see. Okay, generate the health min and health max. How are they set? As this. Sweet. Yes, I like this. There's no need to have like a config here that says health max and health min. Just put them in as an object with these, and that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so that's generating the strength, generating the health, asking for a reset, doing rolling of the dice. So these are all set out for the future bits and pieces. Switching off the background, so that's changing the dark mode. Random name generator by this fella, Thomas. Cap first string. Generate the name. Name 1, name 2. Yeah, so these variables could be different scopes. Okay, so this is random names, right? Yeah, there's loads of them. Okay. So these could be done. These could be held in config somewhere outside of this, perhaps, possibly. I don't know. It's just huge, because this has an effect on the whole file. If this was imported somewhere else, from somewhere else, that might be easier to read. And then this is first cap. This cap generate value name length. This cap first. What is cap first? Ring char up to uppercase. And then slice char on 0, so that's getting the first one and then uppercasing it. I'm sure though, hang on a minute, I'm sure there is another way of doing this. Give me a minute. Yeah, you could use a 2 uppercase, couldn't you? Thank you for your honesty. I've just copied those 2 functions. Cool. Okay, so then we've got the generation of the table here, the CSS, the Sass. Sorry. I like it. I must say that, I mean, I do a lot of React and I do a lot of Vue, but I do like Vue a lot because it's just nice to read. Okay, moving on. So we've got the components now. Let's go into the components for monsters. Let's have a look at the monsters. Okay, so a monster. Is this monsters? Monster import. Okay, so we're in monsters, and then we have monster. Monsters is the table, right? Okay, so then we've got monster. So we're looping through v4. So that's the monster component, and then so we're looping through the monsters, getting the monster component, binding the monster in, so that becomes a property. And then here we are allowing to delete the monster based on the index. So if we scroll down here, we can see that there is a method called onDeleteMonster. So this monsters.splice, and it removes that, so only 1 from that index. Okay, so these are the props in here. Good, good, good. So let's take a look at the monster then. So monster, that would be this one. So this is the TRs, so a table row. So for each monster, there is a table row. Excuse me. Again, very easy to read here. So you've got the pulling out the variables from, or the properties, sorry, from the monster object that we've just passed through. So the properties of monster. Then we have the ability on the monster itself to increase the health, decrease the health, and delete the monster, which then emits this to the parent parent method. Because if you see here, if I go up the chain a little bit, so we've got here at delete monster, on delete monster, passing on the index. So what's happening here is that in the monster view, which is the child component, we are then, is the right word propagate? You're emitting that, or delegating, not delegating because that means something else. You're emitting that that function to the parent. So here we've got, if I can find it, the methods. Is it monster? Yeah, this is where I am at. Here we go. This is it. This emit delete monster. So that's the event that gets called. So you're firing off an event. There we go. Good. So this means that this can be handled somewhere else, right? So delete monster would refer back to on delete monster splice. So I like this because what this is doing is it is saying that there is a method here, delete monster, but it's actually handled by the parent component, by the game itself. Or maybe handle isn't the word. You can do things to it. So this is an alert, and then you call the parent event. I believe it is King Melon. Yes. Yeah. It's very useful when you're in loops, when you've got lots of components. Yeah. Okay, so then we have the fighting game itself, which then, I mean, we've gone through. This is the configuration of it. So I think this is, this is really, really nice. I like it. It's not like overcomplicated. It's not, blown out of proportion. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. And I really do like the way that these methods are within the right places, right? So for instance, the monster has the ability to decrease the health and increase the health. These methods are within the monster. These methods aren't within the monsters or the fighting game, right? So you've actually elegantly described or defined the behavior of a component in isolation, which I really, this is what I dig about Vue, and obviously React and all of this stuff. Okay, so then we've got the generate of the monster. We're in the fighting game here, so this is now looping through each one. We pass in the type here, generating the values of all of these things, getting the health and all of this stuff, and then asking for resets. Yeah, so I think this is really good. Let's go back and just have a look at it again. Let's just have a look at the awesomeness of this dark mode. Really good. Well done. Well done. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Set monsters to 1 and delete it so we can break it. You don't have to ask me twice. Set monsters to 1. Let's go to set monster. Where would that be set? Would that be set in the fighting game, Tyrannid? Monster config. Do you mean the count? Set the count to 1. What if I set the count to 0? Cool. What if I set the count to foobar? Okay, it's handled that quite well. Set monsters. You mean this? Set that to 1, like that. It's actually handling it quite well. Tell you what. I'm not, it's yeah, it's not blowing up. I mean, it probably is in the developer console. Count 1, no self-destruction. What about that? Is this gonna just... Wow, that was quick, wasn't it? We've got an undefined thing going here, chart at undefined. Have I... Of course, it's going to overwrite this as well. Invalid array length. It actually kicks. It actually handles these things fairly well. That's 1,000, so that's gonna.
Stay home with me.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm just going to come out, just Control Z all of this. There we go. Cool. All right, so the next one is... beg my pardon for mispronouncing this. Ilmalala. Mala? Ilmala? Okay, let's open this up. I believe this one was the first one that was in, right? So first of all, this has bonus points just because it was the first one in. And I believe this is the first time Ilmala has submitted work to the submitted a challenge. So let's go and take a look. Let's see if we can break it. I can't spell. I can see it there. There we go. CD into here, and then do a git clone. Woo. Let's do an LS. Excellent. Got the stuff. Fighting game. Let's do an LS. Okay, so it looks like we're using yarn. Hey. Hey, that's new. Okay, cool. And Tailwind. Nice. Okay, before I do anything, because I'm a Tailwind fanboy, I'm going to have a look at the config. Okay. It's default. No worries, no worries. I was getting excited. Okay, so let's take a look at the README. Okay, yarn install, yarn serve, yarn build, and yarn tests, and yarn lint, and everything. So what we want is yarn install. Whoops. So during my day job, which is kind of non-existent at the moment, but during my day job, I don't usually use yarn. I use npm. So I hope this my system is okay with this. Apparently I had yarn installed. So yarn serve. It's another view. Okay. Woohoo! What's going on there? We've got some 21 problems. I got 21 problems. Something is a bit fishy with these. It's running prettier. Aha. Okay, so there's a prettier script in here. If I was to cull this out, do an L. Is there an ESLint job? There must be some sort of configuration somewhere. ls into source. Meh. It's just come up with those warnings. Replace with. Okay, meh. All right. Anyway, let's get on and work this through. So we'll grab that and go into here, open up a new tab, and then press enter. Woohoo! Oh wow. Okay. Another dark mode. By default, this is looking nice. Again, I'm going to assume there's 100 there. Created by Lucy. Let me just stop that. Yeah, created with Vue.js and Tailwind CSS. Code is completely free and available on GitHub. Luca. So, Luca, this is very, very good. Very, very good. It's very well displayed. I do like that blue line above. If we were to reset, they're working good. Nice and quick as well. We got the snakes, witches, dragons, and river trolls. Excellent. If I was to roll the dice, we get the roll the dice, and if we were to open and increase, is that increase? Yeah, increase health, decrease health, and then we can delete the row. Cool. I mean, on this iteration of this thing, I know that a lot of people who've done this, they've literally deleted the row, which is what part of the April challenge is. So I didn't actually ask for this, but this. So I didn't actually ask for the rows to be deleted in March. This is happening, should be happening in April. So this is fine. The fact that it's not actually deleting is fine. You're following the spec, which is great. I really like this design. It's beautiful. I really do. It's just the little subtle details, the lines here. It looks really, really good. And this is good. Yeah, I do. I like it. I like it. Let's go and tear the code apart, shall we? So let's open up the code and go into here, and it is this one, fighting game. Let's just close all this down. Get out of this. So we've got the src. So again, let's start from view. From app.view. Okay, so we have our template. We've got the header going on here. That looks good. And then down here we have the main part, SVG. So it's an SVG, is it? Okay. What's that for? Oh, it's the Oh, these are SVGs for the icons, are they? Current color round. And then, okay, so we got the buttons at the top here. Roll dice and reset board. Click.prevent prevents the default submission, This is brilliant stuff. Like, the design blows me away. I like the way that this is actually very sort of compacted. This is basically the game board, right? What you've set out here. So we've got, okay, let's dig into it. So we're importing everything from names.js. So let's take a look at where that's in utils. So utils names.js. Okay, so this is the list of names. Now, this is nice because this is outside of the actual construction of the monsters and the characters. So we're putting configuration somewhere else, which means that we can have lots and lots of it. Just imagine if this was all in 813 lines was inside the actual the construction of the monsters and creatures and so forth. So that's really good. I also like the fact that there's different names for different types of these things. That wasn't requested, but it's brilliant. I do like it when you lot go above and beyond. Okay, so then we're importing types. So we go into here. That's types.js. Again, this is very good. We are handling the configuration of the types separately outside of the scope of the actual construction. So we have our strength. This is nice as well. So we have this would be min, this would be max. So we're not explicitly saying what these values are in a verbose way. We could do, but that would be pulling off of index 0, and that would be pulling off of index 1, and so on and so forth. Well, 1, 0, and 1 for each one. Special power, again, I like the way you've got this as an array, thinking ahead. I like that. Good. These are all good things. Let's go back to the to here then. So table row from components table row. Components table row. Now, obviously, I'm doing this out of the order, the logical order of the application here. I'm just going through the imports. But this is the template here for the particular row. I like the way you've called it table row rather than monsters and creatures, just because it's explaining what the component is rather than what the component does. Okay, so we've got tr creature name, creature type image. So creature would be an object that you pass through, sure. Okay, so I've got a few errors saying that they can't resolve these things. It might be because the props aren't being defined, maybe, although we do have the props here. Okay, so we've got the delete creature, increase health and decrease health, and this is within the table row. So okay, that's cool. And then we got the script, and then we got I don't think that's required. Okay, let's just go through the actual app, right? So this is the data. It's just a blank set of creatures at the moment. Once it's mounted, we then run fill board. So fill board would be here. So this creatures is a blank array. It is. So I'm not sure why that's. It might be because when you're resetting it, fill board, that might be running off of reset potentially. And then here, yeah, this is good for let I is equal to 0. I is less than 100. Increment. Does that mean that though? Does that mean that there is 101 because that's 0 and not 1? I'm not going to bore everybody by counting every single row, but that to me suggests that there could be 101 rather than 100. So this creature push, this create creature of I. Okay, so that would be 1 to 100 or whatever. So this create creature. Let's open that up. So we get the const value of type ID. That's a random int of 1 to 4. Let's have a look and see how you've constructed that. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's Random number int inclusive. Okay, I like the way that this is. You've now created a method here, so you can call upon these things, and you're passing in a threshold, which is exactly what I wanted. That's good. I like that. I would be very careful with calling types, just because I know that there are certain things in JavaScript that can get screwed around when you're calling things types. So be careful with that. But this is great. So you've got type ID is equal to. So this is checking the data type as well. And we're also using arrow functions here, which is good. So then what we're doing is we're returning the creature, aren't we? So we're returning the ID. So this would be the numeric ID. Although be careful because this is index and then 1. So index would be... index would be, hang on, I've lost it. Where's the fillboard gone? Fillboard. So index would be I, so that would be 0 to 100. So that would be I that you're passing in, plus 1. Okay, so yeah. I'm going to just let's just see if we return creatures on here. Can I just console.log something a minute? Creature. This creature's is I. This, can I do this? Can I do let's creature. I just want to check something. And then we'll pass that into here. But what I'm after is console.debug and then creature itself, creature dot ID. All right. Let's just see if we go to view, developer, DevTools. No, it is 100. But have we started from 0? No, we've started from 1. So no, that is fine. That is fine. I do apologize for suggesting that was going to be 101. That is good. That is good. Okay, sorry, I'll put it back to what it was. Good. Yes, as people have just mentioned on the chat. What are you doing, man? It's fine. Yeah. Mounted is a built-in view method, yes. It's and then you also have other view-specific methods as well for the components. So there's a quite a few of them. There's mounted. There is it computed? Something like that. I'll find the link. Vue.js. My brain is turning into mush at the moment with seeing lots of code all at once. Vue.js methods for components. Data must be a function, organizing components, view, passing data to child objects. So that's this. So this will give you some info on the on omit and everything, I think. So and then binding things together, and I think there was one as well for inline state event modifiers, keys, spaces, while listeners, and HTML. Yeah, this one's a good. Basically, the view documentation is really good. Anyway, okay, so this, we don't need this anymore. So we've got the creatures.push, and then we've got that random inclusive jobby. Get random number name by type. What's this about? Type isn't defined here. Well, no, type is defined because we're passing in here, but this needs to be. It would be best to have this as triple equals. As long as type is a numeric. This, I feel like this could be done differently. I feel like this could be done, because all we're doing here is we're changing the type, aren't we? Based on the number. So I feel like this function could be handled better. Yeah. Okay. Good. So we've got the types, the names. We've already seen those. So that's the configuration. Table row is here. We've got a hello world view. Okay. This is interesting. I don't know why we've got that in there. But anyway. So let's have a look at the Sass. So app.sass. So this is importing Tailwind, components, utilities, and base. That's good. I like that. So let's have a look then. If we're doing that, then that would suggest that if we went to the actual painting of this, yes. So these are text indigo 500 underline. So these are Tailwind utilities. My brain is dear. Tailwind. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you don't know Tailwind, if you haven't seen Tailwind, now I'm a big fan of Tailwind, as you can imagine, as you can tell. So yeah. Good. And then this is padding of the of X by 4 and padding of Y by 3. Text is extra small. Text gray and 600. I'm going to move on from Tailwind, otherwise I'll be here for hours. But yeah, you get the gist. Tailwind also has really good documentation as well. I'm not sponsored by Tailwind at all. I just really like it because I'm not a designer, and it makes my life a lot easier. So this, I really do dig this. I really do dig this. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And the fact that you got this out, I believe you got this out in the first week, or literally a few days after the challenge went out. So, I mean, yeah, kudos. Let's go and have a look at it again. So there we go. That's brilliant. Really do. So, okay. Let's talk about April, shall we? Let's talk about the April challenge, if that's all right. Who's up for the April challenge? The April challenge is going to be like the well, it's going to be based off of the March challenge. I'm going to just spin this down a wee bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. If we go back to the homepage here, this is all live, by the way. So if you go to the Code Challenges, howtocodewell.net page, you'll see the April challenge is already set. Okay. Now, because we're doing this, we've got like a week. We're like a week behind. I've decided to reduce the amount of workload. And to be honest, a lot of you have done a lot of this already. Yeah, that awesome avatar. That's great. So, so I'm going to pick on. This one as an example of what we need. Let me just get rid of all of my tabs. All right. So what I would like to do is, again, we're going through the different levels. So we've got level 1 to master level. Level 1 being the easiest. Now, again, some of you have already done this. So level 1, delete the rows. Upon clicking the delete button, the row should be removed. This should remove the character from the game. Okay. Okay, cool. So level 2, increase the health points. So upon clicking the increase health button, increase the creature's health by 1 point. Now this, just note that there is a threshold between what the characters can do. You're allowed to go above the threshold. I should have put this down in the notes. You're allowed to go above the threshold. So if you're increasing the health points, you can do that. So it's just incrementing it by 1. And then, of course, you can decrease the health points. So upon clicking decrease, you decrease the health by 1. So it's just the reversal of that. Okay, level 4, this is where it starts to get a little bit funky. We start to roll the dice. Now, I appreciate that a lot of you have already created code for the dice. And this may put a spanner in the works. But just imagine that I'm a client who's just, throwing scope creep in the mix. So when clicking roll the dice button, that roll the dice button, generate 2 random numbers between 1 and 6. Okay. So imagine you're rolling 2 dice. Okay. So to display both of the numbers in an alert or stroke modal. So how you've done it, where you've got the alert throwing, or if you want to do a nice fancy modal, then please do. When 2 doubles are rolled, display special powers activated in that particular alert stroke model. Store the dice rolls and record if the special powers were not great spelling there. I've got to sort that out. Store the dice rolls and record if the special powers were activated in variables that can be accessed in the next challenge. Essentially, what I would like you to do is just create sort of perhaps an object for the dice itself or for that particular roll. So you know that dice 1 or dice A had a number of 5 and dice B had like a value of 4. Okay, because we're going to need to know this in the next challenge, sort of in next month. So I want somewhere where you can store this, and also store the fact that a double has been rolled. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit funky. Okay, so at the moment with your special powers, if I go over to here, we've got special powers, and this is all blank, right? So imagine, if you will, you roll the dice, and you've rolled two numbers that are the same. Okay, so maybe a 2 and a 2. I would like you to when it comes up to this, I would like you to when that happens, I would like you to say that special powers are activated, and I want you to define what these powers are. Okay, so create 6 special powers. Now notice that there are 6 special powers, and there's 6 digits on or 6 values of a dice, right? So these represent the values of the dice. So double 1, okay, increases the health point to 100. Double 2 decreases the opponent's health by 100. Double 3 increases the strength between 1 and 100. Double 4 decreases the strength between 1 and 100. Double 5 skips a go, okay? Double 6 steals 50% of the strength from the opponent. So you're grabbing strength from the opponent and putting it on your own character. When rolling a double, display which special special powers are active. When rolling a double, all special powers before are also active. So this is the caveat here. This is make sure you read this part, because this line is very important. So what do I mean by this? Well, in the examples, rolling a double 3 will activate number 3, which is increased strength between 1 and 100, but it will also activate the ones before it. So decrease the opponent's health by 100 and increase the health to 100. Now, we're not at this stage going to do anything with the characters. All I want you to do is just store the fact that these 3 special powers are active. In the next challenge, we're then going to work upon these special powers. Okay, we're actually going to start fighting against opponents and picking opponents. Okay, so rolling a 5 will then activate these 4, or these 5, sorry. And then rolling a 6 will activate all the special powers. This is important. Don't do anything with these powers yet. Please don't do anything with these powers yet, because I don't want you to write a load of code and then find out that you're actually barking up the wrong tree. So, I mean, if you just build a a bunch of objects that have these values being added and then display these in the alerts, that would be more than adequate. All right. And then, of course, level master. Don't use any frameworks. We'll be using this setup for the April's challenge. That should be May's challenge. Sorry. So make it look good. Okay. Does that make sense? I think this is this is sort of like the next level of the setup. And then in May, what we're actually going to do is fight. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about where the game is heading, just to give you some background, some foundation. So we've got 100 characters. Okay, we've got 100 characters, and you have the ability to remove a character. So you could have 99 characters or whatever, which means that you could have both odd and you could have both even numbers. So when we go to the fighting stage, you've got to handle that too. Avatar is saying, so the idea is to use plain JavaScript if you can. If you want to. Now you can if you want to use. There's people here who've done Vue and so forth. I mean, that's fine, but I think it's a great way of teaching yourself vanilla JavaScript if you don't use frameworks. What was I saying? Yeah, so the foundations. Let's put the foundations down. So in May, we're actually going to do the fight, right? So once the special powers have been set, once the strengths and the healths have been defined, and once the characters have been added to the thing, essentially what happens is that you have this huge array of potentially 100 characters, right, with different strengths, different weaknesses, and different strength and different special powers. I'll talk about how the special powers are going to be distributed amongst the characters in just a second. But essentially, what you have is an array of 100 of these characters, or up to 100 of these characters. And then what happens is when we go and fight, we need to pick the character which is like another character, a random character from the list, from the array, from the collection of characters, and then fight. Okay, so it's going to be strength versus strength. So that's how the fight is going to be. But obviously, there's going to be odds and there's going to be even numbers. So not everybody is going to have the ability to fight amongst themselves. Some will just be skipping goes because you get to last one and there isn't an opponent to fight. Oops. So that's fine. And let's now talk about how the special powers get distributed. So we're rolling 2 dice and we're getting a double. And if we get say 5, then we get 5 special powers. So what I'm going to do is then ask, like in the maze challenge, is to distribute these special powers amongst the characters. So you have here, let's say for instance you rolled a 3, so you have the increase strength, decrease opponent's health, and increase your health, right? So increase your health to 100 is obviously going to be it obviously counteracts this one. Okay, so you have to do these in sort of an order. So you can decrease a health by 100 and then increase a health by 100. Obviously, if you decrease the health by 100 and you don't have any health left, then you're out of the game. So the third one won't matter. But what I would like to do is randomly distribute these across the characters. But we're not there yet. This will be in May. So this is just building the foundations, or the next level of foundations for this. But like with the other one, what I'm going to do is in a couple of weeks' time, I'll go back onto the Discord server, and I'll ask how people are getting on. And if you want more time, then I'll give it. And if you're all done, then fair play. If you think it's too tricky, then I'll change it. I'm very adaptive. I'll if you're not happy with the way this challenge is flowing out, then do let me know. If you've got any suggestions to make it better or make it a little bit more understandable, then do let me know too. So I'll go through these. Okay, so the first one is to delete the rows. Okay, so some of you have already done this, so that's fine. And then increase the health points and decrease the health points by 1. Okay, so these are these buttons here. So the increase and decrease. So these things here. So when you click on these, I want you to increase the health points by 1. Okay. Now this is going to obviously go over the threshold. So 57 out of 57, and so forth. But don't worry about that. That's fine because we should have the ability to do that. And then we roll the dice. And now there's 2 dice that we're going to roll. Display the number that we get per dice as well as the both dice together in the alert, the modal. So this happens when you do this, right? When two double, this doesn't make sense. When two doubles, a double, I need to change that. When a double is rolled, display special powers activated in the alert modal. Store the dice rolls and record if special powers were activated in the variables, and this should be accessed in the next challenge. It's not really worded well here. I will change this. And then level...
coders.
Whoa! God, that's... I was concentrating so much on this. Hello, it's Litany. Thank you for giving me the shock. Thank you. I'm not wired up at all to any kind of shock thing. I was just so concentrating on reading this out. Thank you very much. That just came through my ears. Hello. Oh, good. Okay, so level 5, display special powers. So we're displaying them, we're not acting them. That was the whole point here. So create 6 special powers. When you roll 1 or double 1, increase the health by 100. Double 2 decreases the opponent's health by 100. Double 3 increases strength between 1 and 100. Double 4 decreases the strength between 1 and 100. Double 5 hides, skips a go, and double 6 steals 50% strength from the opponent. When rolling a double, display the special powers that are active. When rolling a double, all the special powers before are also active. All right. So rolling a 3 will activate these 3. Rolling a 5 will activate these 5. And then rolling 6 will obviously activate all of them. And then what we're going to do in May is then distribute these to the characters. And then once we've got all that sorted, once we've dealt with the health and all of this stuff, we will then proceed in having this fight. And now, obviously, there's going to be certain things that you can't do until you activate the fight. So, for example, you're not going to know who the opponent is until until later on, right? So you need to have these things stored so you can capture them. So when you've got 100 characters like this, what's going to happen is when you hit roll the dice, it's then going to work out the special powers. It's going to sort out the dice, and then once that's all in place, we're going to have a fight. Now, based upon the number, that is going to be the amount of damage. One opponent A is going to give opponent B. All right. And obviously there'll be 2 opponents, right? There'll be two characters fighting against each other. So it'll be, say, if I was to roll a double 6, so that would activate all of the powers, but that would give me a total of 12, right? Because 6 plus 6 is 12, obviously. Then this character here will take 12 off of this health point, and this character here will take 12 off of this health point, but the interesting thing is the strength. So it'll be it'll be 12 plus 69 off of this character's 79, and then it will be 32 plus 12 off of this character's 57. Okay? I mean, we're talking about May's stuff here. We're not talking about April stuff, but this is how I want it to, how I want it to sort of proceed. Before this, obviously, the special powers are divvied out and then sort of supplied. If, for instance, the skip a go, hide, skip a go goes, then we just literally skip a go on this. And that may affect that another player has to skip too. So there's all sorts of little interesting edge cases and stuff like this, which could be interesting. Now, I'm quite interested to see how this all sort of pans out. It could be that one of these special powers is so powerful that the game just goes really quickly. Essentially, what I would like to do is just keep pressing roll the dice, right? Every time. Roll the dice. And it comes up with this sort of, these are at such and such. These are the special powers that are divvied out. And you would see the special powers down here when they are divvied out. Yeah. I hope that all makes some level of sense. I hope I haven't just babbled on and just, hey, Marco, thank you for joining. I hope that that does make sense. But if you've got any questions, of course, do hit me up on the Discord server. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk them through. Discord. This is the command that you can join. So howtocodewell.net/Discord, and then obviously submit your work again to the Coding Challenges channel, and that would be amazing. Good. Ooh. Making game with JavaScript. Yes. Yeah, this is the link, Marco. This is the second coding challenge on this game. I'm a bit confused over the game overall, but I'll ask specific questions on Discord. No problem. I'm probably just not explaining it well. Yeah, it's essentially like a Royal Rumble. So, I see what you mean. Okay, Mr. DB303 is saying, I'll rewrite my code in JavaScript. Okay. You don't have to. You could do all of this if you want in PHP. There's no problem. If you can do this in PHP if you want. It's perfectly fine. I mean, I have PHP up here, so if you want to do it and keep doing it in PHP, then please do. All of these things are just going to be based on submitting back to oneself using GET requests, right, or POST requests. So it would just be a query string. So this query string, if you click on this, would be the query string of the ID of your character and the action that you want to take. But hey, if you don't mind rewriting it in JavaScript, be my guest. I just appreciate how much work that is. Or what you could do is clone someone else's. Shh, I didn't say that. You shouldn't do that. No. You shouldn't copy people's work. But it's one thing I really do like about this, right? These challenges is that you get to see how different people approach a task, the same task, in very different ways. This is something that fascinates me, is that there's more than one way to solve a problem. And if you think that you can solve it better in JavaScript, then that is a decision based upon the tool. So if you think that the tool that is needed for this is best suited as JavaScript, then that's good. So yeah, I hope everybody I hope that kind of makes sense, right? If it doesn't, please let me know on the Discord server. But yeah, I think what I need to do is tidy this up, because it says here there was something I did see. Where was it? It was roll 2 doubles or something like that. Where's this? Create when rolling a double. When rolling there, that's fine. Here we are. When 2 doubles, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Because it's only 2 dice. Let me see if I can change that quickly on the fly. Let's go into PHP Storm. Let's load up the... What is it that I'm looking at? It is the code. One of these projects. Gosh, there's loads of them. Different APIs. Yeah. Code challenges. There we go. A new window. And it is the... Let's do a git pull. Repository pull. Couldn't find remote branch. Oh, March. Oh, sorry. I need to change that to master. There we go. And then do a git pull on this. I should have just done it in command line. It would have been easier. There we go. And it is in SRC. It is in Markdown Pages 2020, and it is April. Right. And it was when a double is rolled, display special powers activated in the alert. Store the dice rolls and record if the special powers are activated in a JavaScript. Oh, sorry, in a object, not JavaScript. Doesn't have to be JavaScript. That can be accessed in the next challenge. Okay, good. I think that's fine. All right, let's just do a git repository push. That should go up to the live now, because this is running off of Netlify. Oops, it would help, of course, if I committed the code. Updating docs. This site is Gatsby, yes. Yes, this site is Gatsby.
Hello, coders.
Yeah. Hey, Full Stack Live. Thank you very much for following. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so this is Gatsby. In fact, there's a couple of issues that I need to deal with on this. I don't have time to do it today, but there is some issues. So, for example, the challenges, or if I go to the March challenge, this one, the challengers should go to the right hand side. This should be 2-column layout, but they're not, which is annoying. And also we should also have a list of the previous challenges on this page as well. So and at the moment they're only on the home page, which is a bit daft. But what I've done, by the way, everybody, is I've on February I have added our video review. So if you were abandoned or tyrannid, you can see the review here. And what I will do is I will export this to the YouTube live channel after this, and then next week I'll push it up. I also did the same for January as well. And I'll just get a link for the YouTube channel, because unfortunately, I mean, it's not the main channel. It's another channel that I created for the Twitch archives, which means that it doesn't have. Unfortunately, the main the main channel has over 11,000 subscribers, which is fantastic, which is amazing. However, the other channel that I've got here has 24 subscribers. So I can't, unfortunately, have a channel trailer. I can't have a channel trailer, and I can't have my own channel name because I don't have enough subscribers. I think I need to have 100 subscribers in order to get to allow myself to have a custom name. So this here is the long-winded YouTube channel for the live archive, whereas this here is the How to Code Well main channel. How to Code Well. If I was to quickly just... Yeah, so the first one was the channel, the live channel, and then this one is the main channel, the channel where I put the tutorials and the podcast on. Yeah. Full Stacks Live is saying this needs to be web-based, doesn't it? How do you mean? Do you mean could it be a mobile-based? I guess it would be best if it was web-based. Yeah, I think unfortunately that would be a requirement. Did I just call you a coward? No, of course not. Yeah, so it would be it would be best if it was web-based because I need to run it. I need to install these things. Be interesting to do a challenge though in on a mobile app or something, but I don't know how I would sort of get it up and running. So Full Stack Live is saying I'm working on a project that can do in is that December basic on PDP 111. Okay, I don't know what they are. PDP 11? What's that? December basic? Okay, cool. I'm not sure what that means, but 70s tech. Awesome. Retro tech. Hey, look, if you want to do this on something that isn't web-based and there was a way for me to go through it, then I'll be up for that. If there is something that I need to emulate or something that I need to do, if you want to take this challenge on and run with it in a different direction, then go for it. But I don't think I've got any 70s tech in the office. But yeah, do it. Cool. Okay, so that is the code challenges. I'm going to go into this mode now, so you can. Good. Right, I'm going to shoot off and grab some dinner. And see if I can get any more sun from the next before this day goes. I was outside earlier playing with Murphy loads today, tied him out good and proper. It's really tricky, having an English Springer Spaniel and just being in lockdown. It's he's a lot of work. I mean, as a puppy and everything, but. Anyway, we're all in it together, right? We're all in it together. So cheers. I'm just drinking juice, squash. But anyway, thank you ever so much for joining. I'll put this on YouTube soon, and I'll push it out to the Discord server as soon as I can. Full Stack Live is saying that DEC is Digital Equipment Corporation. Blah, 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 blah. Built on groundbreaking hardware and software in the 70s and 80s. They got bought by Compaq, who then got bought by HP. Oh, there you go. That's some interesting interesting trivia. Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Happy coding, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you Tuesday at 7 in the morning, GMT. Bye-bye.